Welcome back.
Hello, welcome to the Hawks and Masters podcast with our guest Adrian Albert.
Yo.
The next topic is having a child young versus having a child after 30. I'm going to make very clear, I don't have children, I'm 35.
I also don't have children.
I cannot wait to have a child. My beautiful sister and her beautiful fiance Martin had the most beautiful niece called Cecile, and she's become I've become an uncle for the first time. I am just so, the family needed that, just this little thing there, and everyone's just around a baby, having a child. I cannot wait personally to have.
It's the best thing when you got a new little baby in the family.
I can imagine. Yeah. I was going to say I can imagine.
It is actually very nice.
Selfishly, I'm looking forward to having that for myself. So I'm interested to hear your view and your view.
My sister just had a baby as well. Well, not just had a baby. My nephew Xavier is probably about four months now.
Great name.
Yeah, man. Kojo boy, you know what it is.
Kojo.
You get me, yeah, man. So it does bring a new energy to the family. My stepsister just had a son as well, and my cousin just had a son as well.
Your family's
we got babies.
Children again.
We got babies popping out.
Your family's
You get me? We got lots of new babies. You get me?
I love that.
And my cousin just had a son as well. Get me? Can't forget.
What I love with you saying that is that you're going to have to work out your bit of barbecue. It's like, whatever their name is, right? And then it's like, yeah, you're my second cousin. You have to work out the whole...
Not me, it's easy. It's easy. I ain't got to work it out.
As in, like, but when a cousin has a... So your cousin has a baby, what's that to you?
Second
cousin. You're going to hear like once removed.
But the difference is, for me,
my uncle used to...
How we grew up very close as a family, innit? So...
Yeah.
My cousins are like my brothers.
Yeah. So I love that as well. So families, I love that.
My second cousin is my goddaughter, so she's my niece.
Yeah.
And my cousin is like my brother.
So it's not like
really
that's
that.
what I love. It's,
you know what I mean?
It's how
my daughter and her, they grew up like cousins.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And they both go to my grandma, and that's their grandma. To get my nan, then go to that's their grandma together. Do you get what I'm saying? So they know how they're related.
Yeah.
You get me? And my mum and his mum are sisters.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it's just different. We don't really do the second cousin, third time.
That's it.
Your family.
That's it. Family. Yeah.
But
family.
How old were you when you had your first child or your child? Your
only child, just to throw it out there.
First and only.
Not my first and only at this present moment in time.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Of course.
I was 22 when my daughter was born. And at the time, it was probably the most scariest experience I've ever had. Because it was the first time I had to be that responsible for somebody else. You get me? It was proper scary, man. But in hindsight, being 31 now and my daughter being 8 now, I'm happy I did it when I did, because now me and her got a perfect relationship in terms of us having a personal friendship. Do you get what I mean? We kind of grew up together. But I was also old enough to be mature. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Don't worry, man. Don't worry, John. Listen, one thing I'll tell you, it's very easy, mate.
Where are you?
Is that you looking for your thing? Looking for your baby mother?
Where are you?
Are you looking for your illegitimate children or your baby
Not
mother?
fair. I mean,
Which one?
I'm sorry.
Are you looking for your illegitimate children or your baby mother? Which one?
Well, after our first discussion, married. Where is she? I discern. Maybe I'll find her through this.
Now you'll find her. Listen.
She's looking at her.
Ladies, listen.
Bang.
Jono is single, yeah? Jono is single. He's looking for love. He's looking for marriage. And he wants to have children. How many children do you want?
Vans, ladies.
Don't show the vans, bro.
Don't show the... Hey, come on, Vans.
You don't wear Nike. You don't wear Nike.
You have vans.
But you don't wear
Vans
Nike
to
and
work.
Vans,
For
bro.
work. For work.
This is why I'm the lady.
You wear Nike and Nike, bro. You don't wear Nike and Vans.
I'm that cool. They're like 250 quid.
No, they're not. They look like they are, though. So we're rocking.
They're not fake. Like,
I
they sound like they're fake.
not fake, bro.
They're not.
Fake.
Yeah, you don't wear fake.
I put them online, bro.
But you just got, okay.
But I'm saying it was a decent price. It wasn't no 200 and nothing crazy.
I look at you and I'm inspired. You had your beautiful child at 22, you're 31 now, and the fact that you said you can develop, as always, obviously, but you can develop that friendship with her. I mean,
do you know what it is? It's because I was still young and cool when I had her, she's got so much personality. She's got a lot of the personality that I had then.
You growing up,
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Because I wasn't able to pretend to be someone else in front of her at that age.
Fine.
So for her, she really knows me, which is like so refreshing.
That's good.
So, do you think it's beneficial? I know what you're going to say, I know you. I mean, but having a child young versus having a child after 30, how do you weigh it up, Adrian? Well, obviously, not one is better than the other. Obviously not. You can have a child at 16 and it's the best thing that ever
There's
happened
one
to
that's
you.
more responsible, but after 30, I mean, if you're well established and you've got a good career, good job, you've got your own house, everything's good.
Calm down. You were saying it all.
Hook up this guy, ladies, please.
No, we got you, man.
I don't want a lady to buy the house. I just want to, I'll run the house.
No, but
it's just
obviously,
I just feel
the
whole thing, you've lived
that time
life.
after 30, do you know what I mean? You've lived your life, do you know what I mean? You've done what you needed to do, do you know what I mean? Like, and this is for the people that, have planned out their life. They know what they wanted to do, they've done that. They, got the job, they're good pay, job in house, living. And it's like, now I think now's a great time to have a child. I think that's a really responsible time to have a child. But
in your opinion, that's what you're 29, 28.
Yeah.
So 29, sorry.
Yeah.
So happy birthday, by the way. July, wasn't it? Sorry.
Yeah.
But I'm annoyed that I forgot your age actually, because I should know that. We've been friends for years.
It's fine.
But so having a child at 30 for you is,
It's responsible.
Interestingly for you though, Ashley, you had a child at 22. You're 31 now, so you will.
I would
again,
technically have to agree with you because I only had a child out of irresponsibility, obviously. Yeah. So
Happens.
But I mean, it worked out for me because it made me become responsible.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Otherwise, I would have just been like.
So then, what would you say to someone that's told me they want to have a kid at 16?
I'll tell them that is probably a bad decision. I wouldn't advise it. I would say you're a child at that age. Live your life, gain some life experience, enjoy some stuff, go see the world, and don't trust anybody at that age because who you are at that age is not who you're going to be. It's not who you're going to be in 10 years. So that's the main thing because without going into my personal life, that is the main thing that I would say. You have more maturity when you're older. You can make better decisions when you're older.
Yeah.
And when you're young, you don't care about compatibility. You don't care about certain things that make a relationship work. Because you're young, you're just with the person because they look good or because you have fun with them or whatever it may be, innit? And then you might end up having a child with them, but then in a relationship it don't work. See what I'm saying? As people, you lot are not compatible. They're those kind of people. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. And that's the mistake that we make when we're young because we don't really know who we are. Do you know what I mean? So I would say it makes a lot more sense to do it. I wouldn't say necessarily after 30 or whatever. I wouldn't put a time on it. But at a more mature age, when you understand who you are as a person, because then you're going to find somebody that is compatible with you, and then you're going to be able to have a family and raise your child in a productive family household. Yeah. And that's what I feel like is missing from my situation. Because obviously I don't live with my daughter, or my daughter doesn't live with me. She lives with her mum. So I have my daughter on the weekends, holidays, things like that. So I see as much as I can, but I don't get a firm hand in raising her every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you get what I mean? So it is irresponsible because at the end of the day, the main crux of her life isn't influenced necessarily by me. I get to be like a side influence or a positive influence on the weekend or in holidays. But who knows what she's going through? Who knows if she had a bad day at school today? Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say? I'm not there to kind of be like, that's how. You know what I mean? To nurture that. experience. I'm not there to nurture all of the experiences that she's gonna go through. Do you know what I mean? So there's an up and a down to having kids young. The upside is obviously she's 8 now. I'm still young. We can enjoy life together, but also it was a failed relationship. You get what I'm saying? There's animosity and do you get what I'm saying? Tension and all of those kind of things that have developed because I did it so young. And resentment and all those kind of things. You know what I mean? So I would say it's better to wait, but I'm happy I had my daughter when I did.
And I can't wait to have a daughter or son.
I can't wait to have.
And he's single as well. Great guy.
And I'm not single. Let me just do this. I'm not single.
He's single.
Don't
he's
DM
great.
me. Don't come for me. Yeah. My girl is buff, black, and beautiful.
But,
yeah. I don't. Yeah.
Me and Adrian.
Listen,
if you're a lovely
we are two lovely guys
lovely
and just
lady.
looking to find happiness, man. Honestly, and why are we doing this?
078.
Why? Why are we doing this?
Just presenting ourselves. We're just hello.
I love these niggas. But right now, ladies, please take them off my hands. Yeah. They need something to do. Yeah. They need something to go and look.
Bored, man.
You see, when they finish work at evening time, they need something to go on and look. You see me? Yeah? So if you're going to DM, don't DM my personal page. You DM the podcast page and I'll hook you up with the brothers. So we're on to the final topic of the session. This is a good one, yeah? This one is, who taught you about sex and when did you get the talk? And you know why I asked this? I like to talk about this a lot, yeah? Because I feel like this had an everlasting impact on how I move now and how I moved as a young teenager. So my mum never sugarcoated nothing when it came to sex or things of that nature, because she always wanted me to be safe. She always wanted me to be, and not safe as in have safe sex. She always wanted me to be in a safe environment and a safe position when it comes to being with girls. So she always gave me that talk where it's like, don't be. So if I had a girl at the house, she would let me shut the door or nothing like that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? She would make sure the door's open and she would tell man, like, don't touch her, don't, you know what I'm saying? Like real stuff to let me know that you can find yourself in some real issues if you don't listen to what I'm telling you. You get me? Like, keep your hand to yourself, don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah.
And those are the things that really stayed with me. Do you get what I'm saying? To let man know, even if you're with a girl and she says no and you're naked, it's no. Even if you're in the middle of it and she says it's stop. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's just those little things that with boys you really need to hammer home, because boys will be doing stuff that they don't know is total violation, totally inappropriate. But they're not aware of how inappropriate that really is. Do you get me? And luckily for me, my mum never pretended. She kept it chill. She let man know, boom, you get me? This is how you're gonna be safe. This is how you're gonna. So the same way girls are taught to protect themselves from boys. Yeah. That's how my mum taught me to protect myself from girls. Yeah. In that same respect. Do you get me? Like, so I feel like that always put me in a comfortable position or an advantage, because when I was at age to start being interested in having sex, I never forced it. I never pursued it. It was always a thing where it's on her, and you get me? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it was always a thing where she would have to initiate how far this goes.
Yes.
You get me?
That is the best thing, when you're like, look, it's up to you. If I would love to. But if, you know, as long as you're comfortable, and women really value that. And they all should value that, because that is. So, who taught me about sex? I'm going to use your line that we did before we were recording. When I was young, I went to a boys' school. Boys' school was, I remember having feelings when I was in orchestra, LSSO, big up. I was 13 and I'd just see these, I was younger, but I'd see some girls just, oh God, I fancy Louise Alder so much, like. I fancy Kira Ishmael so much. You just start feeling that. When you start, sex education at primary school was just weird. That was when I was... My mum, like you, but more just Christian household, like, value, don't make me hear of you getting some mad situation. Don't be an idiot. Because, yeah, you know, be safe and do your thing, but listen, be careful. I know, my mum knew, she knows I'm a young man and a boy even at the time, and it's just, yeah, make sure you protect yourself sexually, also, like you said, from a really stressful future.
Because all it takes is one allegation to change your life.
That's exactly.
So I love what you said about your mum, and obviously I'm sure your mum did the same, you know, just making sure that you realise what exactly, that's what great. And the fact is, we're 3 black men, for example, so men, like saying this, and respecting the greatest lesson was from a woman. Maybe it would have been different if we had a single father household. Maybe our attitude
would have been a bit different,
and knowledge of sex would have been a bit more, would have been different, basically.
That's actually really good. That's so true.
So the fact that we, you know, we were brought up by women who've experienced that, you know, from whatever ages, and they're advising their sons, and we listened, and therefore that cycle works. It was always respectful. Which is so good. I've seen some men disrespect them, and it's just like...
That's why I feel like it's important.
Like when I've been out, and it's just like, what is your upbringing? Yeah, who taught you about... You're seeing sex as like some kind of bit of conquering or something, or like manipulation.
But that's how boys teach boys about sex.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But that's why it's important to learn about sex from a woman.
Yeah.
Because
that,
well, for me, it was important. Because it taught me how to respect it, and it taught me how to not feel like it's my right. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because that's where the lines get blurred, when men start feeling like it's their right. You're my girl. You get what I'm trying to say? When you're young and you feel like, okay, you're in a relationship, you're your girl, and you start feeling like it's your right to have sex with her.
No.
You know what I'm trying to say? That's why I was taught from young.
Nah, nip that in the bud, mate.
You get me? That ain't it.
You know what I'm saying? It's not the way forward.
That ain't it.
No,
So when did you get the talk? Like what age were you when your mum or your dad or whoever was? Who taught you about sex? Because we didn't even ask.
For me personally, it was quite a lot of experience. Started with my mum, quite a few friends, male, also female as well. It's just getting getting those different insights and opinions, do you know what I mean? And it really gets you, you know, like thinking, okay, maybe next time I'll do this and I won't, you know, do that to a woman next time. And you learn from like mistakes, and you just kind of like move forward with it, really. But I think it was more like going to uni, and like when I went to uni, it definitely like made me like being with my housemates and hearing their experiences and things like that. Like, because compared to them, I wasn't really sexually active as them guys are, and hearing their stories and things like that, it really makes you think, maybe next time I'm not gonna try something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, because if you think about it, like when they're teaching you not to do that the next time you're with someone, or when you're with your girl, or things like that. But in terms of like, when did I get the talk? I think I was 12, and I think I had my first erection. And I remember my mom saw me in the room, and I ran to my mom and I was like, "Mom, like, what's going on down there?" Like, she was like, "Oh, that's an erection," and then that was when she obviously sat down, just had a chat to me, like, and just started off with the talk down like that. And then I think what it was that I think I was, it's gonna be so embarrassing. I was watching TV with my sister, and for some reason, I don't know why, it just popped up.
Something on the TV.
It was something on the TV, yeah. And then literally, I just had an erection, and then And I obviously, my young mind, I was young, my mind didn't, like, understand what was going on.
He's all right now.
So I was like,
yeah.
So I was like, Rachel, look at this. And then she looked at me, looked scared, and then ran to my mum. And then she called me and I got the beatings. My mum hit me.
How old are you?
I was like 11, 12. I was very like 11 years old. So my sister was a bit younger. But my sister kind of, I feel like she knew already. That's why she was like a bit, like, what is that? And she went and told my mum, and then I got in trouble. And then after I cried and all that, then she gave me the talk.
Yeah.
And then and then obviously since then I've learnt my lesson. And
You were young.
No, I was young. And compared to these kids now, like, I mean, they have access to internet and social media and things like that. Like, it's a whole different generation to how it was for me back then. Like, what I have, dial-up.
Kids won't be needing
dial-up modem internet.
In 2021, bro.
Literally.
They don't need to talk about
That's some argue that's traumatic. It's not, but the amount of content. It's when they see really graphic, violent content. You're thinking, oh.
And the thing is, it's not in the way. It's out. It's out there. It's like, bro, don't these face moderators.
Like, there's no morality on the internet where it's there is with the filtering systems and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I feel like they're not filtering enough.
Oh man,
even through the facts, these kids will keep searching through it, and
that's all
then
techy, because it's almost like they want to corrupt the kids and stuff, man.
It's like they want to corrupt them. They just want to mess.
Compared to obviously our different stages, we were all 11 at one point. We just barely had dial-up. Had access to internet from like 9 till 7. After that, I was gone. Had to log off. Done.
Like, filtering systems don't exist now.
It really doesn't.
Kids can get around things.
Doesn't.
In school we have to be really careful. It's like they can't get, and they don't. They don't get access to stuff because they're constantly searching for it as well. That's why they're not allowed their phones. Because what they see on this mad.
It's mad. Me, I would say the first time I got the talk was probably like. The summer after year 7. Because I used to have a lot of girls around, man. Like, growing up, I had a lot of girls around, man. You know what I'm saying? So it was like my mum had to like
make clear.
And it was like girls that were older than me. Do you get what I'm saying? It was girls that obviously, at the time, I don't think that they actually find me attractive. Because, look, you get me? You don't think nothing of yourself when you're like them ages there. But obviously, my mum clocked like that's why they're coming around. They like you. So she always like let man know. That's why she never let me shut the door. Never let me. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So even if there's girls at my crib, I'm chilling, whatever. But I never. And me, I was kind of naive at that age. So I never really knew that. And only when I hit 15, 16, that's when I'm like, do you get what I'm saying? But like 13. Like 13 up until that age, for me, I was oblivious to it. But my mum always made sure that my door was open, that she could walk past and see you are gone, and like them little things. So, Mum, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Mum, thank you so much.
Love you, Mum.
I love you always, Mum.
I mean, appreciate you.
Always. I love how to everyone, it's like my mum's cooking is better than yours.